Hey guys, welcome back. It's your brother in Christ, Weston. Thanks for joining me today. So today's article comes out of End Times headlines. Let's get into it. Okay, I've got two articles here, and they are both, not good in the slightest, I would think. So let's read it. It says here. First article says nuclear war with Russia may now be inevitable as talks of U.S. targets surface. And the other article is China delivers ominous warning to America. This one's over Taiwan. The other one is over Russia. We've talked about this. That would be Russia and China as a two-pronged attack, and they would draw out all the resources of NATO, and then they would, as much as they are playing chess, 3D chess at this point, they are just milking what it looks like NATO's support and resources to Ukraine, only then to full-fledged attack where we'll feel like we're outnumbered. Like if we were to get hit now, we'll be able to defend ourselves. So let's read it. It says here, most Americans have absolutely no idea how close we are to nuclear war. Our politicians confidently assure us that the war in Ukraine will never spark a nuclear conflict, and the mainstream media in the Western world rarely talks about such a scenario. But over in Russia, things are completely different. They regard the war in Ukraine as existential conflict between Russia and NATO. And there's constant talk on Russian television about the possibility of nuclear war. Here's the latest example that I've come across. A Kremlin propagandist has issued the latest nuclear threat against the West regarding the war in Ukraine, warning that the U.S. could be in danger of a Russian missile attack. I just watched a video on TikTok of people in Ukraine. It was like a market of some sort, just fine, and then it just got hit with a missile. 17 people died immediately, and 30 other people were injured. Just like that. We've talked about this. I've talked about this plenty of times that at any point, something could just happen. Come into our airspace, come down, and my life would be gone in a moment. Let's just say it was a nuclear missile, right? It is a nuclear bomb. Just coming down and explodes, right? I think they call them Satans or whatnot. And I think that's a name. I think it actually stands for something. Let's keep moving. It says Igor Korotchenko, the editor of the newspaper The National Defense and regular guest on Russia One channel, where guests have repeatedly called for strikes against Ukraine allies, took exception to the criticism of Russian conduct in the war. During his recent appearance on Russia One channel, Korotchenko openly talked about the first strike, which would involve hitting targets on the territory of the USA. During his recent appearance, the most important message we should send to Americans that we will not wage war is that we will not wage war with you in Europe, he said in a clip subsequently posted on X, formerly Twitter, by Ukrainian Internal Affairs advisor Anton Gerashchenko. In response to your attacks on Russian military civilian facilities, the first strike will be preventative, limited strike against targets on the territory of the USA, he told the anchor of 60 Minutes. Last week, Russia announced that its Sarmat, maybe that's what it is, the Sarmat, strategic missile system, which can reach the U.S., right? This is what I was talking about, had been put on combat duty. This is pretty stunning. Korotchenko's remarks are tame compared to the retired Major General Alexander Vladimirov is saying. Vladimirov, the author of Russia's War Bible, he is entirely convinced that a nuclear war involving the U.S. and Russia has become inevitable because we have been supplying Ukraine and we are in a proxy war. I've been saying this. We are part of the issue and we're not a part of the solution, meaning that this is going to pass because if I'm Russia and I see you supplying a place that I'm trying to take over or that I'm in a war with and you're supplying that, then you are inevitably I'm at war with you. Like that's just what that is. That makes total sense. It's easy. That's A plus B equals C kind of thing. So why wouldn't Russia look at us as a target, as a threat? And if that's Russia, then Russia means to take on all of NATO. Now, why would Russia want to do that? Well, I don't know why Russia would want to do that, but unless they are confident, unless they feel like, hey, the biggest superpower, we're milking all the resources to Ukraine, and the Ukraine is losing, but still asking for more. But then if Russia is backed by China, then what is China really doing? They're just setting up the stage to take over Taiwan once the U.S. is either at odds with Russia, they take Taiwan, and then they take that and they go help Russia. Or China goes for Taiwan and Russia goes for the U.S. and it inevitably brings, it's a two-pronged kind of attack. And then those two superpowers versus us and then the rest of NATO, there you go. Like it's a bomb that should have already been exploded. Okay, that's exactly what that is. YouTube, do not take me down. This is just me reading and theorizing. This could all be false. I am just making this statement so the AI or algorithm that reads this or hears this will know that I am just making speculation, not speaking truth. Here, just opinion. Okay. And this is why this pertains to end times. Why didn't this make headline news all over the United States? Nuclear weapons will be used in war, and he wants his country to actively prepare for such an outcome so that they will have the best chance to survive. I agree. He warned, I am sure that nuclear weapons will be used in this war inevitably, and from neither we nor the enemy have anywhere to go. Right. It wasn't a while back that they were like practicing going into bunkers that they had from previous wars. Sooner our politicians and leadership realize, the sooner we can start to train troops and population for this, and the more chances we have for survival, which means victory. Right. And then this is like super long. Oh my gosh, this is actually really long. I didn't know this is long. Let me go to the China one. It says here, China has issued an ominous warning to the United States on Tuesday over its support for Taiwan as Beijing continues to claim its own territory. Chinese state-run news outlet Global Times said in an op-ed that Taiwanese troops attended U.S. military exercises in Michigan last month. The Chinese mainland has never promised to renounce the use of force, and this is the sword of Damocles hanging over U.S. government and Taiwan authorities. The U.S. keeps arming Taiwan by selling large number of weapons and equipment and encouraging Taiwan to reject unification with force, a move that aims to incite tensions across straits and will inevitably exacerbate the tension between China and the U.S. This is a two-point. You see this, right? U.S. helping Ukraine, U.S. helping China, resources. We've talked about this. When do we run out? I'm sure we run out at some point. It seems like it's being not orchestrated. Yeah. Or it's not on purpose. Wink, winks, all the... Yeah. I'm just doing this because this is probably a hot topic on YouTube, and I don't know if I'll get flagged for this, but we'll see. The remarks of the Global Times came amid tensions between the U.S. and over Taiwan. China believes that Taiwan is its territory, an unofficial relationship with Taiwan, while supporting a one China policy last month. Japan first reported that Taiwan soldiers were present at military exercises in Michigan, blah, blah, blah. We don't have a comment on specific operations, engagements, or training, but I would highlight that our support for and defense relationship with Taiwan remains aligned against the current threat posed by the People's Republic of China. Exactly. As you know, the United States has a long-standing one China policy, which is guided by Taiwan Relations Act, the 3 joint U.S. blah, blah, blah. 6 assurance consistent with Taiwan Relations Act. The U.S. makes available to Taiwan defense articles, services necessary to enable and maintain a sufficient self-defense capability. All that to say, yeah, that's serious. Super serious. Oh, by the way, I'll make a video on it as well. Make sure my son is good. I want to hear what you guys have to think about this. This is important, and this, waiting for whoever. It's just like, feel like we're playing chicken here. Also, this is the month of the Feast of Trumpets. And so, as you all know, I believe that the Feast of Trumpets is firmly when the rapture happens. And that will be a 2-day feast that happens on the 15th through the 17th. So if you hear a horn, it's because that's the rapture, and that's when it happens. It happens on the Feast of Trumpets. I believe that, and I'm saying that with firm, in my opinion, firm belief that it happens on the Feast of Trumpets. And there's a lot of stuff that's just happening right now. And September's a big month. Okay, so yeah. Anyways, guys, if you like the video, like the video. If you want to see more of this content, be sure to subscribe. It really helps me out. Other than that, guys, leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. If there's anything you want me to talk about or some articles you come across, drop them down in the comments. I'll be sure to respond. And if it's something I feel led to go over, or I think it's important, I'll be sure to go over it. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one.